So open positions, then I'm going to talk about a lot of things in just a minute. But Alibaba was up 5% today, held the 200-day moving average. And I think the biggest thing that I want to stress with members is what I did on Monday is something that I haven't done in as long as I can remember. And it was that I pulled most of the stops on all of my positions. And I rarely do that. And it was something that I put a lot of thought into over the weekend before I do it, because obviously I've got to communicate to members that I'm a rules-based investor. I use stop losses, and now I'm going to pull my stop losses. And the biggest reason that I did that was because my risk exposure was so low that when I set up my portfolio, I'm normally 90 to 100% invested. So I take positions and I set up stop losses, and that's done to protect me in the event of if the market goes haywire one day, I don't have these massive drawdowns in multiple positions. But going down to where I was coming into Monday, 40% cash or whatever the number was, it was a very high number. I looked at these charts and I said, there's a good chance that, on any type of a gap down, they could hit all my stops. I could get stopped out of most of my positions. We get a reversal, and then I'm sitting down here in 100% cash and the market's up here. And that doesn't work for me, and that's something that I wanted to avoid. So I pulled my stops. I took out some Nasdaq 100 puts. That was a protective hedge. And basically what that allowed me to do is when I pulled my stops, if everything just kept going lower, at some point I would have sold some of these positions, but at least I had those puts so that I knew if for some reason they started to, my positions drew down, I had a lot of cash and I had the put options that are working. And this is why I don't go to 100% cash. I see the comments online and what have you on social media, but for my time frame, I'm not going to go from 100% cash and put 50 or 60 or 80% of my money to work in one day. So for me, it just works better to understand that, okay, I'm going to hold some positions into some drawdowns. I'm going to hold extra cash. I've got these put options, and then I'm just going to see where it goes from there. But Meta up 14%. Altria was up 1.5%. Palantir, big move, up 19%. And what happens is if you get flushed out of Palantir under 70 on Monday, then you look at it on Wednesday at 92, it can be mentally difficult to go back into there. Or the other problem is if you buy back into it here, where do you set your stop? And then you get another flush, and then you miss the low, you bought it high, you get stopped out again. So there's a lot of mental work that goes into these high volatility markets. And unfortunately, I've been through enough of these, and I've made a lot of mistakes before in the past, and you start to understand where could it wind up really bad for me. It could wind up really bad to get stopped out under 70, and then it's at 92 in 2 days, and then what do you do from there? So that's why I pulled my stops, held those positions, and it worked out so far. Triple Q, big move. That was a stop that I had pulled, and I've got the options against that. Spotify was up almost 10%.
Welcome to Blue Chip Daily, one of the industry's premier sources for high-level daily technical and trend analysis. Blue Chip Daily is ideal for both investors and traders of all time frames who want to be on the right side of major market moves and trends. We focus on over 750 large cap stocks, all major stock indices, over 70 exchange-traded funds, bonds, oil, gold, and Bitcoin. Sign up now for Blue Chip Daily, and you will get access to real-time portfolio alerts, premium Twitter page with intraday alerts and commentary, the chart of the day with best idea, daily video and report, and much more. Claim 30-day trial at www.bluechipdaily.com. Subscribe to the Blue Chip Daily YouTube channel for more technical and trend analysis videos and other content.